Na'Vi split on the desk, and so it's time to research for some answers with your casting duo. It's the deadly, it's the vivacious, it's the outstanding Sadakis and Henry G.
Thank you, Alex. With that many compliments, I am starting to believe, too, as we will get into Virtus.Pro and Na'Vi. What a matchup.
Oh, we had a good one yesterday. It's kicking off nicely every single evening, it seems. Matthew, my sexy little samurai, how are you doing this evening?
You know, believe it or not, the Sadokist Sexy Samurais are currently sitting #2 in our fantasy league.
Excellent. That's not too bad.
That's not bad. Where are you on the list?
Third place. London
right.
Climbing up the ladder, as they always were.
14 points behind me.
Yeah,
Moses is winning.
It's true, but early days. It's got a whole week to go. But Matthew, Natus Vincere versus Virtus.Pro on train as well. Quite a tantalizing prospect, I would say. And it will be Na'Vi starting on the CT side here. VP, of course, on the T side. We'll have a look at the buys as we jump into this first game of the season, the second night of Season 5. It's going to be an absolute banger as we get into it. As Chad mentioned, Virtus.Pro known for their use of smokes on this map. You can see they've purchased 2 of them to kick things off here. We have Piali. He's got a smoke. Same story of Neo. They've got a little P250 chucked in there as well. A bit more range of those headshots. A lot more one-tap potential than the Glock. And Neo's lining up a smoke already. Decoy, in fact. Okay, so that's going to be just taking a little bit of attention. Connector, quite an interesting little one there. So they can see it's a decoy. The CDs have spotted that. Simple, getting aggressive, and it looks like it will be an inside execution, judging by the setup right now.
Just to speak about that decoy as well, I'm surprised more teams don't throw that as the default smoke, because you could smoke off Z Connector on a B hit from that position, but down the ladder they go. That's into a blunder. Simple's waiting for it, but Taz is there. Talked about that little rivalry they had. Guardian, meanwhile, starting up on top of the train, is going to try and spot exactly which side they want to try and approach, but as he goes out and overextends, it's Bialy holding the line. He took down Edward beforehand from just outside of Pop Dog, leaving C's to respond to him, but finds himself as such in a 1 versus 3. Pop him down as well for Virtus.Pro, and C's does not have a kit. There's one down on top of the site, but he's got to get that far first and foremost as he spots up that Snacks is above, and hear the glass go out. That baits in Taz, and VP with a very convincing round.
Lovely stuff from them. Like we said, they're a very deep team in terms of Virtus.Pro, especially on train. Lots of strategies up their sleeve. Those decoys, especially on a map like train, throwing those over the top of the map at the start. Chad mentioned baiting out utility. Those decoys flying across the top, they can actually look like smokes. They can look like some sort of inside execution and coming very quickly at that point. Obviously, the CD saw as a decoy, but they showed a lot of presence towards Brown Halls. The upper area pushes CDs back, took that vision away, back towards outside they go. They win their duels, equal exchanges, and they manage to take the round. So it's a good start for VP here. Going to be coming in with 3 AK-47, 3 UMPs. There is a force buy from Na'Vi in return. Desert Eagles, 5 Stevens, and some head armor as well. Of course, Guardian, the AWPer, he'll be taking things a little bit more carefully. Won't be getting that armor himself. So another inside take, and you can see the bait coming towards that Ivy area. That's going to be Pasha, presumably. He's always in that position, and the fragging begins. VP sweeping that inside bomb site. Pasha does go down on the other side of the map, but that's fine. He knows he's got one player anchored towards that area, and the bomb should go down quite convincingly here.
He's known for it as much as any other. I'd say still, if I saw Deagle in anyone's hands, although he doesn't seem like the flashiest player you could probably name in the list, I would say Dupree still scares me the most just based on his odd consistency with the weapon, but Simple's definitely flashy enough to hit the shots. That said, this round he goes down. Edward's got the UMP and armor. Molotov, save it. CT side, gonna have to save pretty much incompletion in the next round, so keep what he can.
Yeah, Chad and I, when we were kind of looking at the clips of Virtus.Pro earlier, we were trying to work out what would be kind of demonstrate the kind of tactics they normally approach. We tried to discuss the fakes and the smokes. We went with the smokes, obviously, Chad discussed. But Pasha, known to be working that Ivy area quite a lot of the time. What's good about that, he's consistently there as well. It means if he does want to fake it and be there by himself, that's great. A lot of teams know he does that, but at the same time, he can show that same position by himself. His teammates are ready to go towards outside. So that's why it's quite versatile. Even though a lot of people know he does that, they're not entirely sure where the rest of the teammates will be going. Inside, normally safe bets, especially towards that upper platform as well. Bird's eye view of the bomb site. And Edward, he manages to pick up, I believe there was a fallen UMP from Pasha towards that Ivy area. So he'll be taking that to the next round. Shouldn't do too much damage. It goes down straight away. So that's a nice shot from Snacks to open things up, keeping things fast. But little Zeus here from Simple, will he be able to do anything with this? Close range. He has been detected.
They sensed it. I think they just brushed him on the way by and realized it in the radar. They weren't bumping up against an object, so they'll take him down. Interesting, that first shot as well, you mentioned it. Very fast shot from Snacks to catch off Edward. Issue with that being that Edward was the one with the gun, was trying to get in position up close with the UMP to catch them off. That pretty much took out any chance of surprise for them in that round.
What's good about that from Virtus.Pro as well, we normally discuss about rushes being a real big, dangerous factor on against these anti-ecos. Train, not so much. The choke points are very wide open. Once you get out of main entrance, very unlikely to see this can even be that close range to you. You can get out there, you have the range advantage, as you saw in that round. But Matthew, this is where things get interesting. Guardian, Glass Cannon AWP, one of the world's best AWPers. He had a great game yesterday. We'll see whether he can replicate that form going up against Virtus.Pro. A big big gun round here. Simple, like we said, pointed it out. He said he's going to destroy Virtus.Pro tonight. He's towards that upper ramp position and not falling back just yet.
Guardian waiting for the sliver of a pick. Select long. Good play from Simple. Gets in the right position at the right time, but can't land a shot on Neo. Gets him in the red. The problem is he can't commit to this either because Snacks can easily walk out. From upper, hit the shot. They've got two players that have already gone down the ramp that can back up. I take that back. There's one. It's Taz, but we're still for Simple. He gets in for free. Is that flag from Taz or on our end? Because he gets tagged to 34, but then ends up in behind the train. Either way, leaves him alive, leaves it to a 5 versus 2. That's going to switch, though, because Seized finds Taz on a rotation back toward the outer side as he tries to push through B and catch rotations. And Flamey snuck up toward the alley, is going to catch them off, coming back through Pop Dog. Snacks tries to bait out a bomb tap, doesn't go all the way through with it, and Flamey therefore finds him immediately after. What a turn of events. A 5 versus 2 to a 2 versus 1. And Pasha with an AWP has to clutch it back for Virtus.Pro. Bomb drop beside the train, 44 seconds to work with, but inside of the smoke, he found the silhouette, but not the shot.
A massive round there for Na'Vi. Like he said, a 5 versus 2, but it's Flamey coming in the flank there, finding 3 huge frags. It's being an absolute nuisance there. Nice movement, very calm, and he found players in front of him as well. It looked like a clean sweep of Virtus.Pro at that point. That would have been a huge round for them to pick up as well. They win that, it's almost guaranteed to be a 5-0. We knew it was a difficult round for Natif and Sid going into that one. Glass cannon for Guardian as well. Flamey saves the day as usual. He's been great in 2017. But round number 5 comes in. It's still money available for Virtus.Pro. The first real gun round here. Both teams fully equipped. And we got a bit of aggression from Simple here. He's got himself towards the server. Going to be baiting himself in with that smoke. But yet to be seen he's going to be boosted up at all. He's only got that UMP. Very good in close range situations. Just trying to buy himself some time here. But Snacks, aggressive as ever. Let's get taken down by Edward from heaven.
Nice shot from Simple, catching Pasha, trying to push through the smoke at Ivy. So Na'Vi looking to bounce back after their first win in the gun round by silencing VP right after. However, it's them in the 5 versus 2 this time, and their turn to turn it around as Neo will find C. Smokes off on Z Connector as well. It's going to allow the bomb to get in position, but watch as it goes down at default, because coming in from the flank, Edward has already climbed up from Pop Dog, and he's going to get on the backside of Taz immediately. Doesn't even matter. Guardian's got the kill. It's all to Neo in the middle of the site, and that means multiple angles by which he can be taken down. Guardian finds it first, and it'll go 3-2.
There it is. We said Guardian was good yesterday. He is replicating the same form. 3 big frags for him. This is certainly a stomping ground train. He is very, very good on this map indeed, and it will be a real nuisance. The bomb does go down for Virtus.Pro, but it doesn't look like they've got enough to buy, but they will be forced in a situation. So 3 players will be limited. They get an AK-47 on Snacks. I think Neo has dropped an AWP over, presumably to Pasha. That's what's interesting about this team. Very diverse. All being AWPers at one point, it seems. And it looks like, yes, Pasha will be taking an AWP. At the Major, he looked great. It's one of the best AWP performances I think we've ever seen from him in CSGO. A real return to form in that respect. And it will be a double AWP set up on the other side of the server as well. Guardian and C's, interesting enough. It's normally Simple that has that double AWP on most maps. And C's now, who was the secondary AWPer before Simple came in, he'll be taking that role over this time.
Guardian from Ivy, looking toward A main, nearly spots a shoulder pick. A nice little strafe jump mechanism to try and bait out a shot. It does do so successfully, but they don't capitalize on top of it. The nade's going to go beyond Simple. That's what it does do, is call for a rotation. And Simple, having not been spotted here before, is going to try and make his way up behind the server, thinks better of it. And you have to wonder what was the better call in this, because smoke's going to dissipate. They've got a boost. Simple's locked into this cubby now. If he even moves, if that boost is still in effect, seemingly not, he would have been found. Instead, they're going to advance. Snacks is going to check it. Gun barrel shows. Shots come through with the M4. Jumping mechanic, I question in that.
I think he's hoping for the AWP to be on the other side. It's like definitely a Hail Mary play, but still a 4-on-4. And considering the gun power that VP have available, this does favor Natif Sincere. We'll see whether Guardian Seeds can step up. And just as I said, there it is. Another shot from Guardian. Takes down Taz.
And he's going to turn his attention back that direction as well, knowing bomb's down, but has to be aware of the fact that no one's watching A main. Was that behind the wall or was that clear sight? I couldn't even tell. It may have been just in behind the door. Good shot as he snaps back to find B alley, but immediately after goes down. He couldn't possibly take 2 from that angle. Neo with the deagle. He's opened the round back up to a wild possibility. Seized as well on the AWP, is elected to go for the pistol instead. Now Neo's tagged in low, but Pasha's the X factor in this because he's already pushed in past Hal, left the ball in the open, but he's going to go hunting for Seized, who can't find the headshot, and they'll pick up the round. Close call.
Absolutely. Well, it was a force buy from Virtus.Pro. It's Pasha to finish things off there with the AK-47. Started with that AWP as well, but Guardian, a couple of impressive shots there, but lots of exchanges going on in VP. Steal around away. That was a force buy. Limited. Deagles, UMPs, AWP and an AK, and I think the deciding factor there was that Neo Deagle from across the bomb site there. Long range and manages to nail it. It's going to be a force buy in return for Na'Vi. Guardian with that AWP. He's definitely capable of winning these rounds for his team, and it's an equal exchange. Grenades come towards main entrance. The airstrike comes in, takes down Pasha, but he did get a kill before he went down.
Guns billowing out towards the VP entranceway. Remember, Snacks is in this game. He's not the one on the shotgun, he's on the op, but I love seeing that shotgun brought up in his hands. Guardian, meanwhile, rotating over will catch Taz, brings the deficit to just 1, 3 versus 2. He spots the foot.
My God.
Neo going on his own, just shows himself off in a slow fashion. A Guardian nails it. Good shot from Simple. That's the deagle we talked about, but he's left to his lonesome. As Snacks did catch off his teammate with the AWP battle. And Simple's trying to evade Flames and all the like because Flash is going out from him. Flames hitting the top of the train. It seems a graphical glitch because he hasn't lost any HP. He's a little bit confused by it too, as Snacks is going to rotate bomb over to inner.
Well, we have got an AK picked up for Simple now, and he's going to be going from Pop Dog as well. So a nice position for him to be in. He knows the bomb's going down this area. He might have just played this perfectly.
He's made a lot of noise, though, and I think Snacks is aware of it, so he started to back away accordingly. Remember, Snacks is still on the AWP as well, which means he's got the range game, he's got the angle, and it's 5-2 now for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, it seems Snacks got some sort of sound cue at that point. I thought Simple would be there just in time to deny the plant. It was an open one from Snacks going down, but it was denied. The force buy does not work out there. Like we said, Guardian with an AWP in his hand, always going to be dangerous in those situations. Definitely viable. It was a big round. They wanted to shut down the economy for Virtus.Pro before it had a chance to swell. Not going to be the case this time. Came very close, a 1v1, but now it's going to be a full eco here for Na'Vi. They get some P250s, default pistols, not really much else to work with, and it will be Taz with that MAC-10 to try and do some work here.
Taz getting aggressive with the MAC-10 as well. He's going to push into the side. Edward goes down, but that's at the hands of Bialy, who followed up on Taz's damage. The MAC-10 lost. However, as you say, it's the reconnaissance gun, and they've got it down to a 4 versus 1. And while I have the moment, when we're on this anti-eco situation where they're just planting the bomb and holding off C's, the tweets that we talked about at the start of the show.
Yeah.
KRB saying we didn't play our best, but we still won. I didn't take that as salt. I just think that means they know there's room for improvement. They're pleased with the win. I didn't take that as anything as a jab to VP.
Tweet. I thought he was saying, like, okay, we didn't perform, but we stayed together as a team. I think that's the point he was making,
But
right?
the one thing is, if Taz took that offensively, they need to give themselves a good look. They had an 8-2 lead and 3 force buy wins on the second half of this map, map 3 of the major, and still lost. So it's not like they were perfect either.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting tweet. Obviously, emotions were riding high at that point, Matt. It's always a disappointing situation to be in, and you can forgive him for it. Like, I think
I don't read into it too much either way.
Lost in translation a little bit there, I guess, but still, it was an interesting tweet to see. But there we go. Virtus.Pro, they did have a similar tweet tonight towards Simple after he said he's going to destroy them.
That one was kind of funny,
Basher came back and said, you will destroy your own team before you destroy ours. Didn't bit of my friend at the end as well, which is uncharacteristic, I have to say.
That's true. That's true.
So he was
But he is not my brother. Or he's not my friend. He is my brother, my friend.
You're not my friend. You're my brother, my friend.
I mean, look, that's just the old meme about Simple's toxicity.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Well, then, it was quite a clean sweep there. 6-2, a really nice lead here for Virtus.Pro. Another difficult buy, though, for Na'Vi. They don't have the firepower from the Guardian AWP. 5 rifles, 1 kit. Look at the utility map. 1 smoke remaining as we hit the 1-minute 40 mark and a couple of flashes. This is a really rough round. A full execution will shut them down at this point, and you can see Edward. He has to make something happen. He's pushing into A main. He knows he needs a pick. Something has to happen. They're up against the ropes there. They can't just sit back and allow VP to execute. We know how good they are at those situations.
Let's see if that can continue forward. Bialy looking top of the ladder. See if anyone's down below as they get ready with the execution. Smokes are actually going to go onto the A site from Bialy, but I have a strong suspicion that this is going to be a B hit. Okay, I take that back. Taz and Pasha in on that position at the upper entrance onto B suggested that to me that they would look to go with 4 players. Instead, they try and sell that further by rotating back down the halls. They take their time getting into B, and Flamey's in position to cut them off. I'm not sure I agree with that hesitation in the strategic call. They were ready to go on B.
Can't argue with Flamey's performance there as well, though, to be fair. The turret sitting in that inner bomb site. We said Edward had to go big there. He gets the information towards A main. That almost funnels him back towards inside. They've lost map control towards outer. At that point, they have to go to the inner, and it works perfectly. We said Nabi had that form here, and Bialy might have something to say about that. He's down to 10 HP with 25 seconds. The round should be decided, considering the bomb's down towards inner as well. But yeah, I agree. The hesitation, they know the money's going to be low for Navi at that point. And it's just Edward's move there. We said they had no utility to work with. Someone had to step into an advantageous position. Edward does that. He locks down A main, finds that first kill, takes him towards inner, and that's where the trap has been set. Flamey's been playing great so far. Yes, they have only 2 rounds, but both of those rounds, he stepped up massively. And the third, they're going to pick up presumably as well. He finds 3 kills. A really good player in fantastic form right now. Simple to finish things off, and Navi claw one back against all odds there. Very nice stuff indeed. It's going to be 6-3. So, The war of attrition begins, Matthew. It's been forced by City here at the moment. So we can see Neo just under $2,000. Taz, similar situation, 3K. So they can certainly buy into this round, but it's going to be another weak buy. And considering the lead they have right now, I was going to say maybe not worth it. Maybe just keep the lead as it is, but they are going to be forcing here. Neo doesn't look like he'll be investing anything. He just gets a utility, so he'll be
chilling in spawn.
The cannon fodder, it seems. He gets a P250. They throw him something in the end, but you know what? A scout, a PT-53 AKs, it's going to take a set piece at this point, mate. You can't really depend on this sort of buy to win you rounds. I'd say a full execution is very likely. That's why Neo opted to go for no weapon here. He wants the utility to provide his teammates a superstar to get in there and find some frags. Some big damage. I think that's the wallbang towards Bialy from outside.
He's it to 14.
That's a really, really
Guardian
well
knows both lineups on that, but it's on NM4. Simple. He's trying to spray toward Pop Dog. And they're slowly getting down lower in that position, but as such, they're going to go over toward B Flamey. He's ready for it this time. You said turret on top of the train. It's the back train. He's a little bit further with a wider angle to cover upper. He's also got seized a little bit closer, which means he doesn't necessarily have to watch both sides or keep his eye on lower. They like to switch it around, though. Seized goes on top of the mid of the bomb train. Flamey can call for information. Soon as he does, he can watch lower. Now they've got a problem because Flashed Off doesn't relay the information in time. Seized has to react on his feet. Does for one kill, but Flamey's gone because he's left in the open as a result. Seized does well, all things considered, to bring it in their favor in terms of trades.
Yeah, well, they're going to struggle at this point. It's going to be a 4 and 3. Some more damage being inflicted there. Bialy still on 14. He gives this gun over towards Neo, who has to make something happen. He's going to be trying to work this upper area. He hasn't seen an orb yet and does significant damage. Finally takes down Edward there and equalizes things. And Snack still trying to do work with this scout. He will be punished by Guardian, but some damage being inflicted on the CT side as well. Still anyone's round at this stage, but considering there's 15 seconds, I would heavily favor towards the CTs.
Shots rain through. Neo takes down Guardian, tries to bring it back, but there's Simple on the doorstep. Takes down 2, including a spray through to get Neo, and I mean through because it had a little animation. I'm not sure if it went through the wall, the top window. Either way, look back. This is the previous round, not the one we just played, but you said it, Flamey turret peeks it perfectly. And the closer train does allow you to isolate the peaks for each entrance. The back train that time, he had to rely on Seized's position, but the flashbang actually caught him off perfectly.
So I called that the war of attrition for one reason, right? Obviously, Virtus.Pro force buying into that round. The reason they've done that, no loss bonus being accumulated for Na'Vi. They've only won a single round there. It's very unlikely their money's in a decent situation. And they go for it. They make it a close round, but ultimately, it was quite a clean sweep for Na'Vi. You can see Guardian now, he knows they're going to be eco, pushing, trying to farm some cash with this SMG, pushing towards Ivy by himself. It's not a big deal if he goes down, really. He's found a kill so far. Gone down to 8 HP. He'll just be trying to stay alive, using everything he's got. Throws in another kill. It's actually Flamey that takes down Neo in the end. So it's poor old Bialy now. Once again, low HP towards the dumpster. And I'm sure... Oh, I saw a knife coming in now. I bet that's Simple. I'm just going to assume. It's always... Yep, it was. He always just runs in with a knife. He never turns out an opportunity to get a little bit stabby there. So...
I like running in with a knife.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't? Well, at this point, we do have the SMGs with the Fnavi. We talk about it all the time. The UMP, especially in this current state of CSGO, I would say, it's a very viable weapon, especially for a player like Edward, who's playing main entrance, very close range position. He can make things happen with that, but more importantly, Guardian has the orb. Virtus.Pro outside rush. This is their bread and butter. They throw this in when times get tough, and they normally pull it off.
Ooh. Shot Bialy onto Edward. Before he could get in position, Simple responding, gets the second on Snacks as he falls down, and there's the headshot on Bialy as well. What a recovery from Simple, sidestepping. However, he blocks up his teammate, which costs Flamey, who tries to strafe away, and Neo hits him back in return. It has to be pulled by Seized, and it is. So he does something very good, and then something very clumsy, not intentionally, but nearly costs them, actually.
Yeah, well, like I said, Virtus.Pro normally fall back to that outside rush, to say, when things start to get a bit rough for them. Simple said he's destroyed his team tonight, and what a great display of skill that was with the AK-47. Very confident. You can see one of the fourth as well. Even though that was the wrong play to make at that time, he's low HP. His teammates are dropping beside him. They've got a huge advantage. He wants to put on a show for them and send out a message. He gets 3 kills, can't find the fourth, but knocking Virtus.Pro down to another eco here. It will be Tech 9 to P250s, 4 smokes. This will be an execution round. Smokes towards outside. Objective, get the bomb down. Certainly possible to win the round, but pretty unlikely. The main objective, let's get that bomb down. We'll push for our own smokes and see if we get some run and gun potential going with these Tech 9s. But 4 rounds in a row now for Na'Vi. Going back on the orb as well. There he is towards Ivy. Spotted a couple of players out. As usual, the terrorist trying to bait out the shot, try and work out where he is. Smokes come in, and he'll be just running off shots there. Simple finds the first frag of the round.
Does indeed.
Aggressive.
Always aggressive. 15 kills now on round 13. It's not anything massive, but it's good enough. It's plenty. As Simple. gonna sit back and wait this out. Guardian flashed off, tries to play the angle, but can't do anything to compensate for how quickly Pasha arrives on the scene until Edwards shows up to take it back against Bialy. This was all for naught. Neo gets a bomb plant down, and 4 rounds against them, and not the worst money in terms of buying the next round in the bank. This bomb plant's going to mean potentially even whatever they want. Double op. T-side, doubt it,
absolutely.
but it's possible.
They've run that in the past. They do run a double orb setup on the T side, so that's certainly a possibility. The defaults aren't really working out for them. The rushes haven't really been fantastic. Double orb setup, we've seen it before with VP. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes in. It'd normally be Neo and Pasha, maybe Snacks and Pasha as well. We'll see what happens here. We'll just be a single orb setup for now, but like we said, the maximum loss bonus, the bomb going down as well, they're in a much healthier position, but Na'Vi have taken the lead at this point, and they're back to a double orb setup themselves. It seems they've readjusted. They've obviously had a bit more time to work this lineup. It was simple, certainly on the double orb setup, but Seized, he seems to be more prominent on this map, it seems, at least on the CT side. As Guardian, he's known for this, pushing towards Ivy, but Pasha, he's ready for it, takes him down, and they've got an early advantage here. No need to commit, but Seized, he gets a frag back and return towards Inner.
Pasha waiting as well out toward Ivy. Favorite position, I think, for Pasha of anywhere in the entire world. Real world as well. I'm sure if you asked him what he dreams about at night, it's Ivy. And I don't mean the plants. As Simple gets through, and there's why. Fires back in the smoke, spots the tracers, nails him down, but it's going to be Taz ousted by Seized, who then plays Old Train Alley, limiting very much the possibilities to catch him off from open angles, more so because Snacks goes down. Edward finding him. It's Pasha that has to get aggressive, finds Seized, knows that Edward's back toward the bomb in some capacity, but where's he gone with that smoke down? So we'll check off the alleys. While he does that, Old Bomb Alley, which he just cleared and just got the kill inside of, is now occupied by a rotating Flamey, and it won't even go that far. Edwards got it to go 8-6.
Well then, it was 6-2 at one point, but that's going to be 6 rounds in a row now for Na'Vi. And we go into round number 15, of course, it's a buy situation. Still having maximum loss bonus for Virtus.Pro. They're going to have enough for AK-47s and head armor. Not a full array of utility, but enough to work if it's just Pasha who bought the AWP in the previous round. He'll just have the AK and no nades whatsoever. So Na'Vi really turning up the heat here. This double AWP setup has been very powerful indeed. We'll see whether Virtus.Pro can string something together to get another round here. This is not normally as many rounds as we're used to seeing from them on their T side. Normally very powerful indeed, and looking very confident in their play. Still a great CT side as well, as is by no means over. Let's be clear here as we go into the final round of the first half. Again towards Ivy. 3 players there this time, and a decent Molotov to actually take Guardian out of position. So now they've got a bit more control of this area. They can smoke off towards the right-hand side if they want to, block him out. That's what they know he is. There it is. And they may wrap around towards inner here. You can see there's a player waiting towards the lower ramp inside. So they could go all the way through CT spawn at this point.
Seized there, hits one. I think he actually tagged a player through the wall, through the body, through the wall, and into Pasha. He's got another one as he takes down Bialy. Looks for the third, but will not find it. Taz going down, though, leaves only 1 player left. That's Pasha. And he's found by Edward, making it 9-6 for VP. Great start. Virtus.Pro as well. Train CT side, usually their best.
I would say so, but what a recovery that was from Na'Vi. Like I said, 6-2 down. Once they got the double orbs out, Guardian starts turning up the heat. Some massive rounds from Flamey as well. Certainly sent a message back towards VP. Some great plays from either side. Simple, the MVP for me so far.
Well, we'll take a short break. Jump back in. Still going to be a hot match, no doubt. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to it. 9-6 in this game for Na'Vi over top of Virtus.Pro. The score at halftime that I'm currently looking at for the Mouse Sports and NIP game is the same. And it does appear that NIP's the one in the lead there. I take that back. They just swapped over, so the scoreboard was updating. It's actually 9-6 for Mouse Sports. Lowell, by the way, 19 kills first half, Forrest 16. Sadok's sexy samurais are killing it again.
NIP, rough start to this Pro League so far. It's not looking too good after that heavy defeat to Heroic yesterday and a poor start against Mouse. Question's got to be asked, what were they doing when everyone else at the major? I thought they'd be kind of recalibrating, getting some new strategies there, working with Threat, kind of revitalizing themselves. It's interesting to see them looking much weaker than before the major.
I could totally see two minds on that. One is you definitely want to stay motivated and absolutely play through it as if you're kind of bitter that you're not there, as you should be. And the other is maybe it's time to take a short little relaxation period during that time. Who are you going to play? Who are you going to scrim? I would have gone with the former. I would definitely be putting in the work.
Yeah, I would be saying we need to come back to 2017 with a new idea of how to play the game, watch what's going on there.
That was what they did in 2016. The first quarter and end of Q1, start of Q2, that's when NIP looked the most innovative of all teams.
Yeah, they kind of evolved as a team. They brought threats in and kind of looked like a team that has been reborn. That was the headline message of that. And for me so far, I didn't get to watch that game against Heroic yesterday, so I can't comment too much, but that's a game they should be picking up, especially with Heroic and the coach. That doesn't make any sense on paper. But regardless, this one certainly does make sense. It's going to be Na'Vi 9-6, and we swap halves it on the T side here. And VP pick up the pistol back to 9-9 if all things go to plan for them. And we really have got a game on our hands at that point. So have a look at the buy for the Ts. That's normally the more interesting talking point. It will be C's with the smoke, and same story for Guardian as well, who has a CZ on the pistol round. That's quite rare to see, actually. And we'll see whether he can do anything with it as we get into this one. Looks like most of the players heading towards inside. Pasha, though, waiting at upper ramp, ready and waiting to greet them.
Pasha backing away from that position as well, trying to get information, but this brings Snacks up. He knows they're there, and they know he's gone up the ladder because he made an absolute boatload of noise.
Yeah, he certainly did. A lot of not footsteps, I guess. What would you call that?
Footprints, footsteps on the ladder. The rungs of the ladder being rung. He rung the rungs?
I think he assumed it was going to be a fast execution from them, so he tried to have a sneaky approach there, but simple headshotting towards Neo now. So it's going to be the man advantage and heavy damage inflicted to another player on the CT side.
Would have been amazing if he knew they slowed down and went up and down the ladders, and they were like, what is he doing? And then Taz repeaks and is like, what's up? Or Pasha, I suppose it was, sorry. That would have been cool.
Well, we're waiting for a reaction for the CTs right now. Pasha in a decent position to hold it inside by himself, I guess. He has got some rotation coming from Neo, but he's the low HP player. He's just trying to pop heads at long range. That's what he's trying to do. Just hold that lower ramp area, hopefully get some one-shot kills, get some intel, and stay alive. That's pretty much all he can hope for at this point.
Oh, that's exactly what he hoped for and what Pasha will get. Edward, his head does get popped from long range. Pasha's going to relocate as well, playing over by where Taz normally plays on gun rounds. So interesting to see Pasha here, not toward Ivy. Flash comes across, Pasha hits another lovely headshot. Knows that one's bypassed him as well. He goes hunting for Simple, but Simple gets the last laugh out of that Twitter exchange because now he turns to find Taz as well. The two players that created a response to his initial tweet. It leaves B Alley 1 versus 3. Flash goes down toward the bottom of the ramp, but they've already got the ball planted, and Simple, of course, is the one to find the third and final kill.
Yep, it was very well played there. From Na'Vi overall, they get that nice early pick there. They do some HP damage towards Ivy as well. They slowed things right down. Very disciplined round for them. Trying to get some intel. They saw there's a player towards upper ramp. That's Pasha, of course. They leave that area, go towards lower, and use power and numbers towards that lower ramp. Equal exchange at that point, and Simple. He's been great so far. Finds a few more kills as he picks up a silent USP. Round number 2, it's 10-6 in favor of Na'Vi. They hit double figures. Not so much a full investment here from VP. They get a scout out. Ooh. And Neo, he's been good with that deagle so far, finds another headshot. He takes down Simple.
Son, how's it going? Neo looking to do damage as he tries to hold him off. Still with that deagle. He's backed away and stayed alive long enough as he's just trying to hunt him down. Eventually we'll get him as he tried to rotate all the way around past Hitch and draw them in toward the bomb site and get Pasha a chance to come in from behind with the scout. That's not going to happen as Edward finds Taz. It is just Pasha, and I think he might just bail on this.
I think he might have to at this point. The scout, certainly a viable weapon to save into the next rounds. Give it to someone like Snacks. He's very, very good with that weapon indeed. They're trying to inflict some damage into the next round. If he can find a kill as players are rotating back and trying to save their weapons, he sees in Edward, they'll have to run away from the bomb. So if he gets himself in a decent position, maybe he can get a couple more kills here, as it will be Na'Vi, after losing the first couple of frags, recovering and using those SMGs as Edward finds 2 kills. Same story for Seized as well. But Pasha, like we said, just lurking around now, trying to hear some sort of sound cue, get something working in his favor. He gets an exit frag and upgrades to an AK. We saw what that can do. Simple did it yesterday on Overpass. He saved one player with an AK-47 surrounded by pistols. Fireworks can go off. So that's what he's hoping for right now.
Oh, come on. All right, fair enough.
Let him off.
He's got to hit this one. Edward's low enough. Go back to the pistol, and Guardian finds him from the top of the stairs.
He takes 2 down with him, right? He doesn't
True.
save the scout, but he's dented the economy somewhat. It has not got a swell for Na'Vi at this point, but it's 11-6, and a tactical pause comes in. So I'd assume this might be technical, you know. There's no real reason for Virtus.Pro to take a pause at this point. They're going to be eco regardless. So I'm going to speculate it will be technical right now. It's a little bit of a unknown quantity, pauses in online matches. I think the rule that we heard about yesterday, it's tactical pause. So who's that for?
Yes.
Would that be? There's no real reason for either side to take a tactical pause. Right
Well,
now.
I'm sure that you've called their bluff, Henry. You
see,
found
Henry,
it.
Henry
Don't
knows.
play poker with Henry G because you will never win.
Yeah. So yeah, just to explain to
Pesky
any new
production.
viewers, that for the reason there's no real reason to take a tactical pause right now. VP don't want to waste it because they can't buy it this round whatsoever, and Na'Vi they know they're up against a full eco. There's no real reason to waste a tactical pause and actually you want to be saving those for the high pressure situations, not these ones. So it will be technical. Online CS sadly is plagued with those who are not in the same building. Everyone's in a different building around the world, and the internet providers sometimes not too kind to us, you know. It certainly happens, even in 2017, believe it or not. As we get into this one, it should be quite a relatively quick fix.
Well, 11-6 for Na'Vi with no pistol for Virtus.Pro. That's one thing to mention. Remember yesterday, here we go. See, there's the tweet. I'm going to come back to this tweet, or the tweet I was mentioning, but this is Simple saying he was going to destroy them. Well, that seems to be true thus far. What's the score that he had before?
He's at 20
on,
now. Close to 20 frags.
Yeah.
And so he is.
And how's Pasha?
So Pasha is on
14. So he's the next highest. He's doing what he can to get it back, but no, he's definitely Simple's helping more than hurting, I would say.
He's not destroying them right now, but he's doing a very good job of putting up a decent performance, you know. So he's still got some time. He can have some if you have a couple more big rounds of 3Ks, that's when he gets to destroy levels. But
I would say as well, one of the tweets that we had to mention at the start of the show was the 0-2, or excuse me, the Na'Vi saying that they lost every pistol. I think there was 0-2 for pistols.
They got them wait longer. It's fine. You know?
It seems like a weird way of doing it. 5 minutes, you can have a stage. Come on, that seems cutthroat. But it's the only way you can enforce it online, because remember, for online, you're not at LAN, for example, when they call a timeout, you have an admin standing behind them watching